we're doing it, yeah.
Are we
Oh,
doing it?
that's the wrong theme. That's my
the
theme.
wrong theme music. That's the
right
theme
one.
music. That's what happens when you have multiple shows. This is the one with Dublin and
That
Devlin.
really
Hey,
matters.
everybody, it's our show. Oh my goodness, everything is crazy.
Where
It's
is it?
because
Wait.
we live in crazy times. Idiocracy is where we're living. Welcome everybody to the Tara Show.
Woo! Sing it, girl.
Oh
Sing
my-
it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey,
Bring it
everybody,
home.
Don't forget,
Sing it.
don't
Yeah.
forget to tip your waitresses and try the veal. Okay.
Don't try the
Hey,
veal.
hey.
Fuck that shit.
No, you're correct. Try the vegan.
Try
mashed,
the Impossible
try the
meat.
Vegan,
Okay.
and yes, try the Impossible burger.
Yeah, don't
the
ever
f-
try the
and-
No.
No, ever no.
Never.
Even those who might lean carnivorous,
Mm-hmm.
never try the veal nor the lamb. I won't
I know.
eat a baby.
Yeah, don't do that.
Unlike
Come
Stephen
on. I don't
Miller.
want to talk about
Stephen
it.
Miller
It
will eat a
upsets
baby.
me. Oh yeah, he'll eat the baby whole live. I mean, he'll just
Right.
and
Well,
savor
first it's-
every
I think
morsel.
I think first it'll drink it. First, Stephen Miller would drink the baby's blood.
Yes,
and
he
then
would.
use the body for sacrifice. I think that's
Right.
what Nosferatu does. And of course, just babies who were separated from their mothers at the border.
Right,
no
right.
American.
And he'll laugh and laugh.
No American babies. No, none of that.
Please,
We
they
need
hate
all the
America. They hate
we need all the
America.
white American. We need all the
Mhm.
white. Oh, so I want to you want to do something fun before we jump into the shitty
Okay.
stuff.
Yes.
I want because right before we came on the air, I saw the story about astronomer CEO Andy Byron is contemplating suing Coldplay
Ugh.
for the Kiss Cam thing.
Oh,
And I
God.
just think that's so funny because please somehow
Yes.
imbue me with the confidence of a rich white Republican millionaire male who cheats on his wife in public and then blames literally everyone else for it.
Right.
It's just like, friend,
This is
if
the
you're
age.
gonna cheat on your wife, keep it indoors.
Right.
Keep it behind closed doors where no one can see you swaying to Coldplay. Because here's what I've learned over my lifetime of also being a music radio person who's been to many a concert. Maybe Andy Byron has never been to a concert, but here's what happens. When you purchase a ticket to a public event and you click the terms of agreement before you pay, in there, in all of that you haven't read because you're in a hurry to get those tickets, you
Yes.
agree that you could be filmed on television or on the big jumbotron therewith. Coldplay
Yes.
could have been making a documentary. You have agreed to take part in that because you are in a public space with 10,000 or 15,000 or 30,000 other people. So whether it's Wembley Stadium or it's a little intimate venue, that man brought that woman to that place. And look how mad he is. He mad. Suck it.
Is that it?
Suck
That's
it.
the guy? I thought that he
That's the guy.
didn't he duck or something? How come, let me see.
I mean, yeah.
There's
he
other
jumps out
footage
frame
of it.
at some point. And
Yeah.
there's so many things about this that
There they go.
hit, right? Okay, so first of all, they look like any other attractive, wealthy couple who might have gotten themselves and where I don't know where in the stadium they are, because a man like that should be in a private box. If you're a CEO, right, I would think that you can afford the box seats where it's private, Andy, and you can grope on your woman.
Yeah.
As if you bring your side people, why didn't you bring the wife and kids to
Right.
see Coldplay? They're
Well,
family
you know,
friendly.
Clearly,
You know,
they're looking, very lovey-dovey, and of course, it might attract the camera. Oh, look at these guys; they're really enjoying the music.
They're very
and-
attractive and,
Yeah.
and they look exactly like what they are, which is wealthy,
yes,
a wealthy white Republican couple.
Right.
I mean, if you
Right.
asked me, if you did not identify them at all, and you said,
I
"Who
know.
are these people?" I'm like, "Are they a rich white Texas couple who gave a lot of money to Trump and Greg Abbott?" Because that's what they look like to me, right?
Yes.
She's very well maintained. She
Yeah.
obviously does.
She goes to the
Pilates.
gym, and
She's- Right, he's got access to good skincare and
Yeah.
in her whatever, and he's fit and trim. I would never, I don't even know what an astronomer is. I have never once even looked up what it is or what it does. But now that he's threatening to sue them he bought the ticket. Hey, you bought the ticket, you ride the ride.
Well,
That's what happened.
you know.
He went into the public space.
Exactly.
Mick Peterson.
This is the party of personal responsibility. And being a straight white male in this culture, you never take any responsibility for, what's wrong with you saying I made a mistake, I fucked up, you got me,
right.
like.
And Chris Martin pegs him. He's like, oh, they don't want to be seen together. Something must be going on.
Yeah.
Right away. Normally, I haven't seen Coldplay live in like 20 years, literally. Not for any practical not because I don't enjoy them. I enjoy some Coldplay, but I just haven't had the opportunity. He's an excellent frontman, Chris Martin, and he sings to members of the audience. He's helped, like Harry Styles, he's also helped members of his audience come out. He's very kind, and he's very inclusive. And like one time he was singing to a person and misgendered them by accident and then regendered them correctly. Immediately, just, but that he's like, hey, normally people don't duck away from the Coldplay camp.
Yeah, something's up
What's
there.
up? Something
Right.
is amiss here in loving Coldplay land, where everyone's happy and welcome, right? So it just all of this is I want every wife who has been wronged to feel very satisfied by this, because this is the level of humiliation that every cheating husband deserves. I'm not personalizing, I'm generalizing. Everybody who has been wronged by a partner should get to feel this level of satisfaction.
But don't you think it's just they should be embarrassed? I'm just so not just about like their behavior, but I mean the fact that he's now whining and groaning about that he was caught doing something wrong. It's
Trumpy.
like isn't it so tedious now for all of these white men, these rich white men, to just constantly blame everybody else but themselves? And this is one of the repercussions of the Trump, era.
That example being modeled by Trump and the Republican Party. If
never
they don't
apologize.
have to suffer right. If they don't have to have any accountability, why should any other rich white man?
It's incredible.
And I don't know anything about this woman. I don't know her name. I don't know what her life is. I don't know where she came from, but she's a homewrecker.
Yes.
And she's not in the sisterhood. She is not in the sisterhood if she is willingly participating in hurting another woman.
Right. If that's how you have to react, right?
If you want to get
cover your face.
feminist about this shit, this is female misogyny, because she knows that's a married man and she does not care that's a married man with children. People are hurt. Real people are. Now, we can enjoy the schadenfreude of this on the surface level, but at the same time, any wronged wife knows, or anyone who's been hurt knows, or anyone who knows somebody who's been hurt by this knows the repercussions from this are actually real and very hurtful. And she's participating in hurting a family, and he doesn't want to take any accountability for it. And I don't know where she's at. And if anybody in the chat knows who she is and if she's ever spoken out, that would be an interesting take. Because there's a lot of things you can say about a lot of things, but this is shitty. This is super shitty at its core, while we can also enjoy their ritual humiliation. Because that's what should happen now. Like, you want to go back to the Stone Age, biblical stoning of adultery? That's shameful. And then him trying to get away with it by suing Coldplay? Again,
for what?
Like,
what's on what grounds that you
how dare they
you got
put
me
members of the audience on camera? That could have been anybody. You just happened to be this was not pre-planned. They didn't know. They don't know.
They would just sit.
Happened to be in the camera's path.
They were just looking like an attractive couple who were enjoying the music. So why wouldn't they put them on the cam, right?
Exactly. Why don't you just sit in the fucking front row while you're at it? I mean, again, if you're gonna do this, and obviously this is a long-standing relationship they have. This isn't new. The way he's holding her, the way they're together, the reaction, the exposure. Oh, okay.
I just wanted to see what the wife had to say. So
hurtful. It's just so hurtful, and be
this
humiliated worldwide.
Well,
right? It's a Hillary Clinton level of embarrassment because the whole world
I
knows.
know. But she apparently removed her name. Well, that's the other thing. See, this is what they're all focusing on him. But what about his wife? Like, what about her
Right.
comments? And it reminds
And
me
what
of.
about the woman he's cheating with?
Yeah.
What about this woman
Exactly.
who is not just okay with cheating, but essentially flaunting it by going to this concert and saying, "We have that's amazing hubris. We are out in public. Nobody in our immediate surrounding area knows who we are. We can make out in public. Oh wait, I forgot that everybody's got a phone." So it's just like, again, the hubris of this, of thinking, you're not going to get caught. There won't be any consequences for either of you. It's just, all of it is of this era. You know,
Yep.
back in the day, if you were a cheating piece of shit, you took your mistress someplace where no one could see you together. That's how it was done. You conspired without, leaving an electronic trail, like that's how they, I'm not saying it's good or, not saying that's good. I'm just saying, like, it's horrific. And nobody gets a pass here except Coldplay, because it's not their fault. It's not, Chris Martin is not to be shamed nor blamed, because that guy cheated on his wife
Right.
and hurt his family. So, and that leads us to another female misogynist who is dominating the news cycle right now, and her name is Ghislaine Maxwell. And we are both very angry,
Yeah.
and we're going to
just
try
sick.
to
I'm
have,
just- She's
we want to have a
disgusting.
very straightforward discussion about this, and we want to be very, very blatantly clear about what we're talking about and what she did, and how, first and foremost, she is nobody's victim. Nobody's
No.
victim.
Oh, God.
She is not a victim.
Oh, I
Let
wanna-
us hammer that repeatedly, along with everything else. Not a victim. Very much an active and willing participant, not just in the acquisition of these young girls, but in their rapes. She
I
was
want to
there
play a
in the
video
room.
just from
And-
Fox News. So, yeah.
Please do. Please
yeah,
do.
yeah, because I played it
It's-
on my show the other night. Hold on. You
The
can speak
details are
that-
stomach
yeah.
churning and therefore necessary for everyone to be made aware of.
Listen to this shit. And thank you. I see Jim in the chat room. Of course, he's our moderator. He's also the moderator on Tower Buster on Friday night. So some of the people
Thank you,
here,
Jim.
yes, thank you, Jim. And some of the people have already seen this video, but let's just play it.
She's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just
Oh,
might
fuck
be.
this guy.
There was a rush
Right?
to judgment. There was a lot of
Greg Kelly's
chaos
the worst.
there for a while. All right. Granted, she hung out with.
Oh,
Jeffrey
yeah, no,
Epstein.
that's a victim.
And I know that's apparently
victimized.
not good.
It's apparently
jail.
not good.
And she's also been subpoenaed.
Not good.
Yeah, you're hanging out with Jeffrey
good.
Epstein. That's apparently
Not good.
not good. It's apparent he doesn't really get why it's not good. It's apparently not good. I don't
You
know
know
where
what?
I'm getting that information from, but I guess it's
He's
the
so
woke
awful.
liberal mob wants to say that's apparently not good. And,
good. And Greg Kelly's
but we're
such a
cool
piece
with
of
it
shit.
because Ghislaine Maxwell is a victim in no way, shape, or form. She is a perpetrator. She's a sexual predator, the worst of the worst, a female
Indeed.
rapist, a disgusting woman who had everything handed to her, and this is what she did, exploiting young girls.
Tell the kids in the chat and anybody else who may be watching out there about what you told me right before we went on the air, that quote from the friend of Ghislaine Maxwell's.
Well, I was watching one of those documentaries about her and them and him or whatever, and she was in New York and she ran into another high society lady from England, and they got together and they were discussing, oh, what have you been up to? And she's saying that she's procuring girls for Jeffrey Epstein and her friend
Procuring.
who is a high society, nice, I guess well-bred lady of England, was shocked. It was like, what are you doing? And she said to her, they are trash. So That's why she does what she does, because they, don't even consider them. Why are you even expressing a concern for these young girls? Because they are trash.
It's
like
about
we all are.
dehumanization. It's the power of dehumanization, and the crimes are so unspeakable. I'm going to pay a visit to Greg Kelly's Twitter account when we're off the air. He lives in Trump's alimentary canal.
Oh, God.
Is where Greg Kelly lives. Greg Kelly's so terrible, he got fired from Fox.
I know.
And
How
that's
bad.
why he's on Newsmax. I mean, you know, that's a downward trajectory nobody should be on. But it's anything that they are doing to justify the mere existence of Epstein files is abhorrent.
Oh, she's
because
a victim.
At its core, she's not a victim.
No, I know. It's just not the victims.
All over them.
Yeah, the victims aren't victims. It's Ghislaine Maxwell who's the. That's why I'm like, why are they not talking to victims?
But no, Trump is the ultimate victim of this conjured up witch hunt. That's so true. Every day he says something different about the Epstein files, and always has about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. It's a constantly evolving liefession. That's a word I made up yesterday.
What is it?
Liefession.
Liefession?
He's confessing while he's lying.
Liefession.
Lying while he's confessing. It's a liefession because he is constantly covering up the last lie he told about whatever you're asking him about at that moment. So he's covering up the last lie while confessing and making up a new lie. A liefession, if you will. So like him saying, oh, it's vile, terrible stuff, and my name has been planted. What?
Yeah.
No.
That's great.
No. Obama and Biden and Hillary put my name in there. No.
And refuse to release it, right? That's what I love about it.
And then and I mean, again, we have been over this loop-de-loop of the Lolita Express timeline of lies since May, right? So there's an Epstein client list on Pam Bondi's desk, but no, there isn't. But there are binders full of new stuff, but no, there isn't because it's all covered and blacked out. So now there's just nothing ever happened with Jeffrey Epstein. The media and the Democrats made it up to make Trump look bad, as if you need our help to make you look bad, Donnie Thrombosis. So, you know, it's ridiculous. Ugh. And every lie is just like, and MAGA's like, give me more, feed me more lies so I never have to admit the truth.
Yeah.
And it's when do you get sick on his lies already? When do you finally go, we are talking about justifying child rape? That is what they're doing. And before we went on the air,
they are trash.
Yeah, and I tweeted, we have reached a point where Republicans are justifying the rape and sex trafficking of children as long as Republicans do it. It's okay if Republicans do it. We really hope some Democrats did it so we can point at Democrats and go, they did it, it's bad. Your guy is client number 1 on the Epstein list. Your guy drew him a card with boobs and his signature as pubic hair. Your guy signed a copy of his own book for Epstein in 1997. Your guy did all of these things and worse. Read E. Jean Carroll's book. Go back and watch our interview with E. Jean, because she told us stuff that she had not talked about in other interviews before. There are the court transcripts in E. Jean's book that won't ever know about.
Well, they think she's a liar, right? That's what they said. And even when E. Jean was on the show, they posted under some of our promos and whatnot about how, oh, she's lying. She's a lie. Why would you lie? I mean, about this, and plus grand juries and multiple grand juries and a jury of her peers convicted. Traitor Trump saw all, and we know because of, in her book she writes about the demographics of the jury. They're not all liberals. She had an upstate Albany jury, and some of them had got their news from like right wing. I can't remember the one of the guys was a Tim Pool. Yeah, Tim Pool guy.
Tim Pool.
Yeah,
and she thought they were saying from Temple.
Right, right.
Which also doesn't make sense, and I'm surprised that they didn't follow up a little bit better. But the point being, MAGA doesn't know that one of the Beanie Babies, because Tim Pool wears a beanie, and I
Oh,
call
he's
his
horrible.
followers Beanie
And he's a
Babies.
Russian asset. Never forget that.
Yes.
Okay.
No, he gets paid $600,000 in
Yes.
rubles every month. Like
For,
Tim Cesspool
for lying
and
about
his,
Trump. Yeah. I
for
mean,
lying.
he's a
Exactly.
traitor.
So it's Tim Cesspool and his Beanie Babies, and that's where this particular juror fell demographically, and still sided with the entire jury to award
Yes.
her millions of dollars.
Saw it.
So
I mean, he did his
He saw the
patriotic
evidence.
duty and saw the evidence and didn't let his preconceived biases get in the way of, doing the right thing. And that's, I think, what happens
way.
a lot in when you're separated from the maggot bubble and you're confronted with reality. And good on him for not, refusing to see what was right in front of his face, really.
Right,
So-
exactly. And now we find ourselves in what I like to call hot Epstein summer, because it won't go away, right? It is the prevailing mood now. Trump went to Scotland, and the Scottish press was like, but what about Epstein? And he was like, why are you talking about this? And it's very vile stuff, and my name has been planted. And
My
then he
name is
cheated at
planted.
golf.
Oh, I
And
know.
he cheated at golf.
It's
we
so
already know
embarrassing.
And here's how pathetic MAGA is. There is I guess there's, and I don't know a ton about golf, but I guess there's a legitimate thing. Like if you are moving your ball as a player, it's called a drop, because I don't know why. But in this particular clip, the
Yeah.
caddy just like goes, bloop,
That's what
Just
he
dropped
does. There's a
dropped it.
book
he's a
about
fucking
it.
cheater.
Yes,
He's
Trump
such a cheater. And
Trump cheats at golf. There's a book. Rick Riley wrote a book called Commander in Cheat, and we should get him on the show, really. But he,
okay.
yeah, because he wrote about, he played golf with Trump. He's a sports writer. I don't follow sports or whatever. So, but he played golf with Trump, and he followed Trump around. He interviewed the caddies and everyone who played with him. And Trump is a notorious cheat. He has,
Cheater.
he just,
Shocking, right?
I
Shocking.
mean, the stories that are in the book, and that because I've been listening to some of his interviews, it's just absolutely shocking. But it came out in 2020, and this is what's so disgusting: is that nothing seems to matter to the maggots. If you will cheat at golf, of course you're a tax cheat. Of course you're a con man. I mean, he's cheating.
you're an election
yes.
cheater.
And he
Of course,
like
you need to gerrymander
right.
district. to
You'll
win,
cheat at the
you know?
election. Exactly.
Yep.
You'll cheat at everything.
Anything.
I mean, there's so many stories. Like he's not fighting, whatever they do, playing against another person for, I guess bragging rights or whatever. He just can't let anybody else win. This is what the guy said. He said not only does he cheat, he will reduce the scores of other people. He gets in his golf cart. And he won't wait, because usually you'll wait until the other person does their hit or whatever. And he goes first, and then he immediately runs to the other hole so he can rig shit, And one of the things he complained about to Rick Riley was that since he's been the so-called president, he, this fucking Secret Service has to guard his worthless carcass. And when he's playing golf, they're in the woods or they're patrolling, and they're all around watching him. So he just can't cheat as openly and blatantly with the Secret Service watching. So, and whenever he has a match or whatever, he can't win unless it's at his golf course or he controls everything.
Always wins first place. He always gets a trophy.
And he
He's the
posts
big boy
about it
winner.
too. Even when he's
Fucking
not
right.
there. Another one, he said that he called up he wasn't even at the golf course that he called, and he said, who won the tournament today? And he said, well, Joe Blow or whatever won it with a 72. I don't even know what that means. But he goes, well, I got a 71, so put me up there as the winner. So and the guy thought he was kidding. And he's like, and no, I'm not kidding. So he had the poor guy, who probably was very proud of himself for winning the tournament. There goes his name right off the board, and there's that fucking baboon but the thing is, think about how sick that is. There's no you really cheat yourself when you behave like that. And it reminds me of what Elon Musk did with the gamers. I told you that you know about this,
Yeah,
right?
no, the same thing. He
Yeah.
hired someone else
Yes.
to play as him.
To play a
'Cause
game,
they
so
can't
he
do anything
it's so
legitimate. They have to
right.
cheat.
And for those who
Even
don't
if there's
know,
nothing at stake,
he when it's just bragging rights to gamers, he hired somebody to play this game, Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4, and so he can go around saying, I'm in the top 10 in the world. And then he was challenged to play live, and within seconds, people are like, what the fuck? He doesn't know what he's doing. And then he kicked them off Twitter. He blocked their accounts. Anyone that called him out. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's so
these
fucked
babies,
up.
these rich babies, these rich babies are running the world.
Right.
Rich,
It has to
entitled
stop.
baby men.
It has to stop.
And it goes back to the cheating guy from Coldplay. Rich, entitled white men are babies ruining this world. Elon Musk is on track to be the world's first trillionaire.
No, I know.
Nobody needs that much money.
No.
Nobody. But you know what it means? It means he doesn't need Twitter money anymore, and he should sell it to Mark Cuban so they can reset the algorithm and get us all back on track. He doesn't need Twitter anymore. He's not using it correctly
He won't let it go.
anymore.
He won't let it go. Because he's a Nazi, I mean, he saved free speech. Don't you know? He saved us from decency and dignity and democracy. So, I mean, he's fundamentally one of these. He's like Peter Thiel. They are the people who want to destroy the American experiment.
Well, in that case, yes. But also, Elon is the one who kickstarted this whole Epstein thing back earlier.
That's true.
Or only earlier this month. I realize this is literally the longest July in recorded history, and it's still not over.
It is.
It's still not over. And
2 more days.
like, so much has happened. July 1st was the day I got my tooth pulled. I feel like it was 11 months ago. It's the weirdest.
That's the way it is.
I know. And
Trump,
there's so
mad.
Because it's so much. There is so much going on all at once, and they're trying everything to distract from Epstein with anything and politicizing everything and else. But what it comes down to is that it is our job, it is our task to not just remind every member of Congress, but any member of the media and any member of Trump's staff who is tweeting about anything other than just put it right back to the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang for the Children is a great one. He's doing that every time Pam Bondi tweets. He is right there going, you find those Epstein files on your desk yet?
That's what has to happen.
This is what we have to. We have to news bomb. That's what we need to do. We need to news bomb every time you see it, whether, and you're only going to see that shit on Twitter. You're not going to see it on Blue Sky because there's no Republicans on Blue Sky. You'll see it on Instagram. There's a lot of, and I still don't know 100% how to discern whether an account is fake on Instagram like I can on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. They're getting better. I mean, it's getting to the point, where there's so many of them too, and they're being AI generated. And I guess one of the telltale signs would be, and I guess they're getting better at that too, is that they only, normal people have a social media footprint that is on Instagram, it's on Facebook, it's on, like they're kind of all similar. I would think that you have a generic nothing photo, you have whatever, a generic anything
name,
that's on its own.
There are the bunch of numbers bots over there too.
Yeah.
There are people who haven't even chosen an avatar. There are people who hide behind an AI picture. And on all of their accounts are private. Every single person who has ever told me on Instagram,
oh wow,
you have to be following them and they have to be following you so you can see their account.
Right.
So it's like, and I'm like, okay, brave keyboard warriors, and the whole point about the truth being true, it's true no matter who believes it, right? Or you don't have to believe something for it to be true.
Yeah.
You can deny truth. People do it all the time.
It
doesn't make it less true.
It
just makes you an obstinate ostrich, and there's nothing I can do about that, right? And it's a waste of time. And one of the reasons the bots are even designed, they're designed to distract and waste our time.
Yes.
So we're not spending that time sharing the truth. And so,
well, that's
I'm mad.
Yeah,
right? And that's how we
no,
operate.
sorry. No,
So,
because every time you post, see, what you'll notice is that not just you, but every time anything is posted, the first, no matter what it is, if a Democrat posts something and about the truth, something, and right underneath will be a maggot bot immediately.
always.
They always. It is without fail.
There's
So
and the irony of what's happening right now is not lost on yours truly, because again, I recorded an excerpt of Katie Johnson's testimony a year ago. It has been on all of my socials. I've repeatedly shared it all during the campaign last year, and I had so many frustrations about that I think I just, like, it's just one of those things where I have to be able to release it at some point, because I'm so angry about it that it lives in my stomach like a pit, and I will keep pushing because it needs to go viral, because people need to hear what he did. They need to hear it. And so I have repeatedly shared it under, I've been news bombing with it, like, especially people from CNN, like I did it to Caitlin Collins this
I wonder
morning.
why they
did
don't
it
play it. I mean,
I don't know why. I've done it to Scott Jennings. I've done it to Charlie Kirk. I've done it to Nick Fuentes. I've done it to Tim Pool. I've done it to Jack Piece of Shit. I've done it to members of Congress. I have done it, all around. And so what's really interesting, Pam Bondi tweeted something that had nothing to do with the Epstein files, and I tweeted the thing again underneath. I'm like, I'm just going to keep sharing this, and there's nothing but MAGAbot responses saying that my video is fake. So fake accounts calling my video fake.
Wow.
And saying it's AI. There was one fake account that I blocked them, because I blocked them all without engaging, but I did screenshot them because it was the craziest. I don't know how, maybe they were a real person, but their account indicated bottery to me. But what was interesting was their response to my video was, "Oh, come on, Tara, that's AI, and then that's from
Is it?
Norm." And they go, all you have to do is do an AI search, and you'll learn that it's not Tara, but it's from the Jerry Springer show, and the producer is Norm Lubow, and he made it all up. And I'm like,
what?
I'm like, I don't know who Norm Lubow is. I don't. Is Jerry Springer still on the air? But
yeah.
He's Jerry Springer's producer, and he made up this AI. No, he didn't, because it's mine, and I recorded it myself.
Yeah, but it comes from a deposition. It comes from a deposition that has been released. So it's not like, I find that's very cunning of them. Yeah, the way that because they paint it with the veneer. It needs that. Excuse, that level of denial needs that kind of level of lie constructed around it. Yeah.
Right. And the video is pinned on all my socials.
Wow.
So wherever you follow me, and I hope you follow me everywhere, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, and Twitter. I have it pinned on all. I made it. I don't have a public my Facebook is friends only, but I made that post public, because it needs to be seen and heard by everybody. And I don't care if you don't want to believe it, that's on you. Like, I know I personally sat here, and it took me a very long time to record it. And I'm almost flattered that people think it's AI, because I'm reading it in a very straightforward. I am someone who knows how to do, I have done radio. I have done voiceover work. I know how to do a straightforward read. Like, I've done voiceovers for brands, and I used to be the voice of the Clark County Parade of Homes happening
lovely.
now.
I could see.
I used to do all of that.
I could hear that. Yes.
And I
have a good voice.
I have narrated, and I thank you. And I have narrated
You're very
industrial
sweet.
films. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have narrated industrial films that are boring as sin, where it's just like,
that's pretty good.
Like
can make a good living that way too. You can.
I used to be able to supplement my income doing voiceover work. There's not a lot of voiceover work in Portland anymore.
That's true, because they use AI.
They use AI.
Yeah, fuckers.
I did not, and so I had to sit here, and so it starts with on the third occasion, defendant Katie Johnson said this, and I do it in my straightforward read voice, but I had to stop and redo it. I wanted to do it as one read, because I don't have editing software, and I was doing it on my Voice Recorder Pro app at the time. And I didn't even have like a sweet microphone set up. And I remember I sat in this closet that's right behind me, and closed all the, make sure there was no sound. And it took me like an hour because I kept stumbling because it's very hard to read about these unspeakable acts towards children, a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old, to talk about how they were forced to give him a blowjob at the same time, and then he slapped them both in the face because their performance was mediocre.
They are trash. That's what they think.
So,
that's what they think we are. This is the problem with this time.
All of us when they dehumanize them, and
that's what it is.
It's vitally important, and it's not about me. If somebody else made this recording, I would be boosting it just as hard because it needs to be heard.
Yes.
And
I have a clip of
victims
Maria
are coming forward. That's Maria Doe from my testimony. Her name is Maria Farmer now.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to hear what she has to say?
Yes, because it doesn't have to come from me. If you don't want to believe me, believe her.
Well, this is what her response to them meeting with that disgusting Ghislaine Maxwell.
I've never met a more predatory, terrifying human being in my entire life, and neither had Virginia Giuffre, and neither has Annie, or Anushka, or many girls like Shantae Davies. There's hundreds of us that were preyed upon by Ghislaine Maxwell. She's a very dangerous person, and she threatened my life on many occasions. I've had to move and be in hiding because of this predatory child predator and just victim predator. So it's completely unacceptable for anyone to call her a victim. The woman is not a victim. She's a victimizer.
Wow.
I've never met a more...
Yep.
That's a clip that has to be shown everywhere as well.
Yeah.
Because this goes back to Me Too. We have to believe the survivors of sexual violence. We have to believe the survivors of sex trafficking. We have to believe these women because they tell a consistent story about the same people over and over. The stories line up. The abuse that these young girls suffered and the trauma that they carried into adulthood is still very palpable and very real, and anyone who could use the hashtag #MeToo for whatever reason understands what that feels like, and any of that can take you back to a moment where that happened, right? And so that's visceral and real, and I want to believe inside of every MAGA person is still the human that they were before they joined the MAGA cult.
Maybe
because they did live and exist prior to Trump, prior to this blight on humanity. This fucking war criminal, because he's a war criminal on top of all of the other things. Prior to this, you were a human being who never would have tolerated rape against children.
Well, if a Democrat did it, that's the stipulation. Well, here's
partial immunity for her. Is this when he was embarrassing himself in front of Keir Starmer?
I just wanted to play.
Embarasses more, you fucking baboon.
It's so horrible for America. I mean, what they have done to us in 6 months is beyond comprehension.
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for him.
It's not the rape.
I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place.
Can you believe this?
I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth.
Isn't this, I mean, well, first of all, when I was listening to this, of course it's a lie. It's another excuse, of course. I threw him out. I thought he said he threw him out because he was a creep. No. Oh, okay. He threw him out because he poached some of your workers. But let's not forget.
Workers.
Yeah, but let's not forget that the fucking demon Ghislaine Maxwell, she recruited many of the underage girls who she raped along with Jeffrey Epstein and Traitor Trump. She recruited them from Mar-a-Lago. So is that what he's talking about? He poached my workers. you know, and
Yes.
and I guess that's what he's talking about. Yeah,
Well,
right?
first of all, this is another Liefession because he's saying that he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
He's admitting he's admitting to their friendship. He's admitting to a long-standing relationship right there. And if anybody who's in our chat right now, if you've ever joined Hal Sparks' chat room, if you've ever watched Hal Sparks, he is very well educated on the whole history between Trump and Epstein. They never had a falling out. Never
No.
had a falling out. They manufactured a public falling out
Yes.
so they could continue raping little girls on the DL, so that people would look away because the heat was on at that time. The people were worried because girls were being poached from Mar-a-Lago and disappearing, and no one knew where they were. And so they threw up the smokescreen of it's his fault, when it was both of their faults.
That's right.
And they kept going. They were friends until Trump found out that Epstein was going to give evidence against him for a reduced sentence. And then once Trump found that out, oh no, I'm sorry, the video footage of this is missing. So that is my theory of how and don't ever tell me that they were not long friends, like friends for a long time, because Epstein is quoted, we've been best friends for a decade.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back to...
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, he did take the fifth when they asked him about, I'm talking about Epstein, they asked him about Trump. He took the 5th, the 14th, and some other amendment he threw out there when asked if he ever hung out with Traitor Trump in the presence of underage girls. And he took the 5th.
He wouldn't answer, which is a yes. When they take the 5th, they're admitting to it. So it's... it's a constant, like every accusation is a Liefession because like he can't stop. And so, but I'll always go back, like you want to dispute all of this. One of those facts that we can always go back to is Trump had his choice of planes to use when his own plane broke down last summer during his campaign. Did he want to spend money renting from NetJets? No. Did he ask somebody who's a friend of his to borrow their plane? No. He had the Lolita Express repainted with the Trump logo and flew around in his own DNA crime scene because it made him feel safe. I don't know. He could have had any plane. He repainted the Lolita Express. Never tell me they weren't. They were friends until the moment Jeffrey Epstein was Epsteined. That's right, and that's what it is. And so right now, Ghislaine Maxwell is scared about getting Epsteined because she can say one wrong thing.
That's right.
And the video, this video footage is missing. So here we are. And like, if they pardon her, if you fully pardon, like the partial immunity is a bad enough look. Oof. You gave partial immunity to a sex trafficking rapist predator. Great. If you give her a full pardon, that is something that the Republican Party never comes back from because we will never let them forget it. That's what the Democrats run on because the Democrats are hammering this today. Go to the Democrats' Twitter account. They shared Epstein victims on camera, sharing their testimony. That's what the Democrats tweeted today. And right under that, I'm like, here's more. Here's more. So this is never going away until Americans get a satisfactory answer. Is where we're at with and now they're openly seeing the Republicans trying to cover this up. It's blatant. It is blatant.
That's why yesterday when we were talking, there was that article that really pissed me off. Get over it. And I saw the writing on the wall. When I saw this, I was like, oh no, here we go. This is how it happens with the corporate media or the mainstream media. Get over it.
Overblown is a bad choice of words.
Some middle America Trump supporters remain unfazed over Epstein files tumult.
They don't want to believe it's because they don't.
Yeah, well, this is the anatomy of a cover-up every single time. Anatomy of let's all move on. This is all built in. It's all baked into the Trump cake. All of this disgusting sewer and poison. That
by the way. This is from The Guardian, which is an absolutely reputable source. So when you sent me this article and I read it, it's quotes from people who have been in the cult for so long.
Right.
And they
but why
use
even
the
write an
same
article like that
language.
then? Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I think it's to show what sort of mentality we're up against, because
we
it's
know.
not just right,
Mm-hmm.
but the world at large needs it is still like how does this happen? How are they still? That's how, because this cult mentality
Yeah.
is so deeply entrenched now for them that they
That's
don't.
what I mean.
It's
Yeah.
and you read the quotes from them. I don't believe it. Well, you don't have to believe it for it to be true. That is a choice they're making. They are choosing to not believe something because they don't like it.
Right.
And I don't know
it.
when everybody got the false idea that the truth has to be pretty or pleasant for you to accept it.
Well, they don't
That's
like.
usually not what the truth is. You know,
Yeah.
the truth is usually pretty rough.
I want to.
And an
one.
adult knows how to accept it.
One of the things that I like to do is I listen to podcasts. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. One of the podcasts that I really like is this American History Hit. And I was just looking one day over the weekend at, I'm like 4.3 stars. I mean, this is such a great podcast. But you know why? Because maggots are pissed off about it. They are upset because the truth has a liberal bias. Even a history podcast has to be a 1619 Project DEI
Oh,
woke.
for fuck.
I mean, fuck you. It's like he has the best authors, the best researchers on, and they discuss history with, the truth about
Warts and
history.
all.
Yeah, I mean, and look at this
It ain't
racial
pretty.
separating show. They're all racist too. That's the other thing. I think Don's,
they are.
and he calls him Don. His name is Dan. His name is Don. But favorite part is talking about anything to do with slaves or black people, white people, or natives and Americans fighting anything to make sure you all know how terrible we are as Americans. No, you dumb bitch. I mean,
no.
like, this is what we're dealing with. But they're all like, it's all pissed off about, they're pissed off about racism, like about the fact that there's racism in America,
no.
that we are built on
not
racism,
know?
that, yes. He also makes indirect attacks and innuendo on Republican and subtle yet very anti-Caucasian.
Oh,
And-
and fucking great. They can't even spell history
Exactly,
right
exactly.
in the headline.
Exactly.
Misogynist. Put that with misandry as like one of your buzzwords. I'm so sorry
Isn't it?
that you
I
only
mean,
want to.
It's
I'm sorry, but
so-
like history doesn't have a good parts only version. Okay,
I know.
You can try that. You can try that. You're doing yourself a disservice as well as
Right.
any future generations that might survive this time.
Right.
Because when you tell a good parts only version, what you're giving people is a false sense of security.
And what's
when
he
you
supposed to say? That's what I was wondering. Like, what does an approved maggot history podcast sound like? Right?
Oh,
like,
it
we're
sounds
great.
like this. Black people learned a lot from slavery. They
Yeah.
learned a trade. They became
That's
blacksmiths and they learned how to pick cotton and
That's it.
vegetables. And they were able to learn, and they got 40 acres and a mule so they could
Yes,
start their
that's
own
true.
farms. And black people benefited from slavery. And all of that is where they go because they can't possibly think that that stealing human beings from their homeland in Africa with nets and putting them in horrific conditions underneath in the hulls of ships, and then bringing them to this country where they didn't speak the language and didn't understand anything. Then they were beaten and whipped and raped, and children were killed, and horrific things happened to slaves. But they learned a trade. What white bullshit is that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and the Japanese Americans were put in internment camps by the United States government. That's just true. It's not a pleasant part of our history,
It's
but
just
we have to say that is a true part of our history that thankfully we have learned from, but no, we haven't, because there's a fucking concentration camp right now in Florida.
Right.
So,
right.
Anti-Caucasians.
I mean,
Anti-Caucasian. What in the entire
what the fuck
fuckery
is that? What?
You know what?
Jesus
I wanna
Christ.
Go, That is nature nurture right there. Nobody is born
Yeah.
hating anyone or believing anything. Proof of that was when I went to the Pride Parade here in Portland. There was a ton of little kids there very happily walking around with their rainbow flags because they were taught to love and accept instead of hate and harass. You know, like, it's super easy actually to be a good human being, and it's actually really super easy to be an ally to all the communities
Yeah.
you weren't born into, unless
It's
you're
incredible.
a fucking asshole who has been taught and socialized to hate anybody who isn't white. And it's
Yeah.
crazy because that's nobody is superior to each other. It would be great. It would be great if you weren't a fucking bunch of hypocrites thinking that you're better than someone else because you have less melanin in your skin. How fucking stupid is that?
It's just
It's
so
seriously
babyish.
stupid.
Yeah. They're
It
so
is stupid. My sky daddy is better than your sky
Uh-huh.
daddy. Your sky daddy is made up.
Right.
So, and you violate every commandment before you finish your first cup of coffee. So shut up with your hypocrisy and let everybody live. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
Because we get hit so hard every single day with so much terrible that's been manufactured to keep people churned up and mad and throwing money at people who are profiting from people who get churned up and mad. So it's crazy, right? It is crazy that we are a society of hypocrisy, because you cannot tell me that you care about kids
I know.
and their
Right.
well-being and you don't want to prosecute a pedophile rapist.
Right.
You can't tell me that you care about kids when you're cutting their food benefits and their
Oh, God.
Medicare and their
Right.
education. You don't care about kids. You care about your bottom line. Mark Wayne Mullen, the whole
God.
lone holdout in the Senate who won't move forward a vote on the Epstein files because first of all, your name is Mark Wayne and you cowered
Bad
like
enough.
a little, right? You cowered like a little fucking bitch on January 6th, and we
Oh,
have
yes.
the evidence of that. And now you're standing up going, he literally said on the Senate floor that they're just trying to protect Donald Trump. That's all they're trying to do.
Yes,
Well,
well, he's like, the
there it
Democrats
is.
are
There it is.
politicizing. Well, fucking yeah, good. Everything is politics, so that's what they're doing their job. I
That
don't,
is
I find it so funny when they clutch their pearls about they're playing politics. Like what just happened in
Well,
New York.
You're
with the-
literally politicians.
I know.
What are they supposed to be doing?
What do you?
Should
well,
they be playing
it's
rugby?
too soon.
Well,
it's too soon.
Right.
Whenever
Just like
anything
the
happens.
shooting in New York.
Yes.
The shooting in New York. It's too soon to talk about proper gun violence laws.
Oh yeah,
Gun
well
control.
that's
It's
what
always-
John Kennedy said on what did he say on Fox News that just hours after the shooting he said that we
Now's
don't
not the
need
time.
more gun control, we need idiot control. Now this is John Kennedy is that what is he from
gun
Louisiana?
flapping
Yeah.
swamp dweller. Yeah.
Well, and he's an Oxford grad too, which always, I like to remind people because you think he
Again,
talked like that when he was in Oxford,
No.
That's
It's
dog.
pandering. It's all
won't-
performative.
Yeah, it's all
God, it's-
performance. It's a performance art. But the fact is that he's going on about, and I don't want to hear anybody be, what did he say? Have sympathy for this shooter. Nobody who had sympathy for the shooter. I mean, it's like you're just throwing out
the shooter
straw
took
men.
themselves out, right? The
Yeah.
shooter took themselves out. Well, that
Yes,
they took the
but
coward's
nobody
way out,
was-
because anybody
Yeah.
who goes out and shoots other people is a coward to begin with, and then you take yourself out. That's double cowardice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, if you don't want to live anymore, that's on you. You're not allowed to take anybody else with you when you go. That's
Right.
never okay. Never
Right.
okay. And I honestly, I haven't delved that deep into this story because I'm so invested in keeping
Right.
the Epstein story
Yes,
at the top.
true.
And I don't know I think he was looking for NFL headquarters,
Yeah, something-
which is
he's got,
weird, and
you
got on
know.
the wrong elevator.
Right.
Who I don't
Another
don't know.
mentally
and
ill person who was able to get an assault
to
weapon.
get a gun.
And,
Right.
and that's what I'm talking
it's-
about, really. And
Which
the
should never be the case. I mean, we need
Mm-hmm.
stricter gun laws in this country. There's it regardless of where. And remember, Democrats don't want to take away your gun. We just don't want you to kill other human beings with your gun. I don't think that's too much to ask.
well, nobody needs
I
an
really
assault
don't.
weapon. That's my
No,
opinion.
literally no one.
Except
No
the,
one,
if
and they
you're in the
should be banned.
military. And when I was in the military and we were trained on assault weapons, you're not walking around in in uniform with your gun. You're not allowed to. You don't have it, or your weapon, I should say. It's in the armory. There's gun control in the fucking base. Weird. Only. Yeah, I mean, it's just. But not here, not out in civilian lands where you don't need training or any kind of anything, as Kristi Noem showed us when she held an assault weapon at somebody's head for a photo op. But the fact
is,
she's
in Argentina right now. We don't know why.
Right, anyway. But the fact is,
it's insane.
Yes, no, but I mean, I just wanted to make the point of how these Republicans in their poorly run red states, they really have the nerve to tell us, because he was lamenting about the gun control laws in New York. I mean, the guy brought the gun from Las Vegas and drove across country. Right. But Louisiana is really like a ground zero for dysfunction, of course. The contrast between New York, the gun deaths are at record lows in New York, but in Louisiana, I think it's like the second highest rate of gun violence in the country. It's always.
Isn't that weird?
It's always. Yep.
It's always a red state. Always a red state that's doing worse than a blue state.
That's it.
And as you said, they are poorly run. And I would say the time to talk about gun control is every day. Yep. And if you're not talking about the Epstein files, you can talk about gun control. I'm fine with that, or climate action. These are things that matter. And it isn't that these issues don't matter and they don't deserve equal time. And I don't,
I hear you, though.
We're just reminded, right? We're just reminded about gun violence when when an incident happens, and we're like, okay, now it's at the forefront of the news cycle for this moment. It's at the front of my brain for this moment. So this is the moment I'm going to say we need stricter gun laws in this country, and we need an assault weapons ban.
Well, first of all,
I'm always going to say that. I'm always going to believe it. It doesn't. Yes. The timing is irrelevant because it's still true.
Exactly. And what Kennedy said, and I think I'm going to write an article about this for the Political Voices Network today, probably, but he said we don't need gun control, we need idiot control, and I can't agree with him more. And that idiot control starts with voting every Republican out of office. That's the idiot control that we need.
That is correct. That is correct. And also us spreading our message and getting to be louder, which is very hard to do in the independent media. And this is where we say, please make sure you are signed up for our Substacks. Also, I still have my book, The Sound of Settling, Rock and Roll Love Story, that I'm very much invested in trying to get to be a thing. You can get it at TaraDublinRocks.com. And we started with a non-political story, but I want to finish with a little bit of good news, which I meant to mention to everybody on Thursday, but we had such a great conversation with Rachel Bitticofer that I wasn't able to tell you. I told you off air. But hey, everybody in the chat, I have some good news to share, which is starting soon. I have signed a contract with SiriusXM Progress, and I'm going to be a fill-in host on SiriusXM Progress when the regular hosts go away on vacation, or they're doing stuff, or they're just not able to do their show. So what's great is that's another opportunity and another platform for us to be getting the truth out into the world, which is the most important thing to me. And it gives us an opportunity also to let everybody know that the Tara Show is here, that you're here, that I'm here, that we're all here, and that creating a truthful oasis in the middle of the MAGA garbage fire is essential and vital. And that's why we have to cross-promote and support each other. And that's what it is really all about, in elevating any voice that is telling the truth about the Epstein files and everything else about Trump. So I'm very excited about that opportunity. And tomorrow I'll be on Dino Badela's show doing my Bullbuster segment. But we will always be a destination for the truth. And it will always be the thing that we are the most focused on, regardless of whether or not it's a Democrat or a Republican, an independent. We are always going to do that. So please make sure you're not just supporting us, but that you're sharing us with people who may not know that we're here. Because that's the other problem with the glut of right-wing media flooding everywhere, is that we just get washed away. So please share our socials and this show with your friends. We will be back on Thursday, same Tara time, same Tara channel, and our friend Sherry Jacobus is set to join us. We're gonna have some tea. We're gonna spill she and I had a great conversation on her podcast last week, and I guess we're just gonna continue that, all about the Epstein Mishigas. all about it. So make sure you're following Devlin. She's Tara Buster on Blue Sky and Real
Thank
Tara
you.
Devlin on Twitter. You're welcome.
I think we have all
And
our
I'm Tara
links in
Dublin.
there. Yeah.
We have all of our links everywhere, but make sure you are sharing. And if you have the wherewithal to drop a couple of bucks into our Venmos or get a paid subscription to our
Yes.
Substack so that you can comment and be a part of those conversations, we would really appreciate it. And we're all in this together, my friends.
Yes.
Except Trump, because he's a rapist, pedophile.
And a baboon.
everybody.
No offense to
And a
baboons.
baboon.
I feel bad for
No
baboons.
offense. Well, maybe we'll have to find a different.
I know, but
different
it just
parent.
baboon comes out, it just fits in a lot of ways. But Mike Malloy
Remember
calls him
that video of him with
yeah.
that video of him
Oh,
where he's
yeah.
like swatting nothing away. He's cuckoo bananas,
Yeah.
crazy sundowning. He's
Yeah.
not long for this
Well,
life.
All right,
Root for
guys.
the veins. Root for the
See
veins.
you
All right,
soon.
guys. We'll see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday with Sherry Jacobus.
with Sherry Jacobus.